Haha! Who recognizes that? That's right, we saved, like I said, the best till last. This is a personal favourite, a fan favourite, and it took me this long to get to it. I'm sorry, Barack. I'm sorry, Devin. I'm sorry, Waffle. I'm sorry, Fancy Text. I probably pissed off a few people. I've avoided this for fucking months, and I would have had two to show you, but it took me that long to get to this that I, in fact, sold one.
Is this your first apology video?
Yeah, hey, oh, hang on.
You're going to do that side.
This isn't an easy video for me to make. I would like to say first and foremost, fuck you, and fuck the horse you rode in on. So, first off the bat, the bag doesn't actually go with this mask. Well, it does go with this mask, it doesn't go with the one that's in it. Because there's like 3 different versions of this fucking bag, the bag that went with it. This is the earliest one. I've just put it here for style points so I can put it here. This is the 58 pattern. I actually had 2 of these. I lent it to Stoner over here, and I never got it back. However, he is paying me for it, so all is forgiven. This is a very thick canvas bag. We'll talk about that for a little bit, and then we'll move on to the contents. This is a very thick, very heavy canvas material. It's got this little disc in it. I don't know what that's for. I presume maybe you'd take the fucking string that's in here and turn it into a waist string and maybe you'd wrap it around that. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I should have asked beforehand, but I didn't. So, this was actually discontinued due to the fact that it was very difficult to decontaminate, if I remember correctly. Contaminants actually stuck to it very hard, not very well. Where it was later replaced by, I think it was called 72 pattern, which is actually a rubber nylon coating, some shit. I think it's nylon. Rubber coated canvas, very thin. I did have one of those with the Medic's cross on the front of it, but like I said, I did sell it. So, too bad, so sad. The bag's cool. I do like the fact that all the metal furnishings are green. It does go with the 58 pattern webbing if you want the earlier stuff. However, later on the 58 pattern was still kept. I do actually have 58 pattern, but I've not made a video on it. I will at some point when I have the full set. I am building it at the moment. Getting this is the hardest part. This is the hardest part of any 58 pattern kit because it was used with the earlier sets. However, later on it was then replaced by, like I said, the 72 pattern haversack, which was a lot easier to decontaminate and also generally. This is still water resistant, but the other one was like waterproof essentially. Obviously, unless you submerged it. It has that simple fucking. Sorry, I swear a lot. Simple fasten, which is just a thick piece of canvas that is stuffed between 2 rings there. This is actually adjustable twice over. You can't just like pick and choose. If you adjust it like, oh, I only want to put it on there, well, then it looks stupid. So put it on there. So I don't know if I can demonstrate what I mean. Look at that. If you just try and jump the queue, then you get like a little ring. So if you want to adjust this, you will adjust it as we have described, which is you must fold over the first one, and then you fold over the second one, like so. Very good bag. These are actually very loved. I was lucky enough to get these. These are quite expensive online as well. I was lucky enough to get these from a local surplus store. Kind of. I knew they wouldn't be in good condition, but you're not spoiled for choice. Finding these on eBay isn't easy. There's a few up there, like £30. I mean, even Barack spent a pretty penny. I don't think he'd want me saying it, but I'm going to anyway. It was £85 because a lot of people knew that these were rare at the time. So I was lucky enough to get this for a good price. So moving on from the bag with its 2 studs, I'm guessing this would be like a quick thing. You'd yank that off in case of a gas attack. Here on the inside, you can actually see some stamping on there, and this one says some crap. 1971. So this would have been right before the 72 pattern. This would have been right before the end, which explains the good condition. Let me just have a look at what timer we're on. I've been talking about a bag for 4 minutes. Right. So this is British. In case someone didn't notice, this is, like I said, this mask particular one. It's the same mask that would go with it, but this one is the later version, which would have gone with the 72 pattern. Same as these filters did not go with this bag, but these filters did go with the mask, if you know what I'm saying. It's like a Mark 1 and Mark 2 difference, except that doesn't exist. The filters do. This is the number 2 Mark 1. The number 1 Mark 2 was a little bit more interesting. They were worried that soldiers would clog the intake and suffocate, so they made these where you breathe in through these little sides. These when out of date. These are actually in good condition, to be fair. These were out of date in 1983. I've brought a training one here, which is where they'd paint it red. This one is not in good condition, but I brought that for the sake of it. The S6, finally, by popular request. A lot of people wanted me to review the S6, and I've kept putting it off. There's also, with the bag, there's just a little fucking pocket in there. You get these, like that in there, and 2 straps at the top. That's all you get. There's no other pockets in there. It's just an empty, hollow bag. So, the S6 was revolutionary for the time. This came after the Lag, which, as I might shit. Oh, I only went and dropped the valuable one. Which I might remind you of what it looks like with the C3. So we jumped from essentially that to this. This was a massive improvement for the time, like really commendable. Christ, how long do I have to gush about this? Okay, 6 minutes. I've got 12 minutes to record. Oh shit. Right, let's toss through this. Very cool and interesting design. Big nose. This was made by 2 different companies, which was Leyland and Birmingham Rubber, and Avon. This one is by Leyland and Birmingham. You can tell which one is Leyland because they have round stamps on here, and the lip around the edges is flat. The Avon one, however, uses diamond-shaped stamps and has a jagged pattern around the edges. It uses the old Lag head strap sort of deal, except now it has a little bit of a twist, which is that it has a locking mechanism. I will do a video on the locking mechanism in its own time, so like a warning for people, but essentially what you do is you keep that up, you bring this over to the front, and you drag that down with your nail, and it pops on. Now that won't move. If you try and adjust this while the lock is on, you will rip the fucking straps off your mask, so don't do it. Like I said, if you want to adjust the straps, you keep that in place. If I remember correctly, you pull it down, push down on it until it pops down like that. Like I said, it's bouncy metal, so you can pull it off like that. This ridge, yeah. So you want that off. I've got this in its storage position, which is how you should have it, which is off those, because otherwise it puts stress on the straps. 19mm elasticated, as seen with the Lag, however this time around they are green. The straps age very badly. If you want one of these for modern use, get the Turkish copy, which, because we sold the rights to these to the Turks, wherein they then made the SR6. Technically this is called the NBC SR6 Mark II. I think there was a Mark I version, but I don't know, don't quote me. No one calls it that. No one calls it the SR6 Mark II or NBC, whatever the fuck. Everyone just calls it the S6. So, moving on from the outside of the facepiece, also very prominent nose. It actually uses a very similar exhale sort of voice diaphragm system here. Here is the filter port, which is again 40mm NATO, I believe. So it has this filter support here in the middle, this little tube. That's where your airflow goes in. It means you cannot put GOST filters on this because that gets in the way of the little lip on the inside of GOST filters. This one is size N, which is normal, which is a medium. You've got 4 sizes actually this time around. Extra small, which is quite rare, owned by Durov. Small, which is a little bit more uncommon. Normal, which is more common, which actually fits me, despite my large size. And large, which is colossal. It's massive. It's too big for me, and I'm using the biggest size of most masks. I cannot use a size, well I can. It's just massive. It kind of slips off, and I can't do it too tight because the straps age badly. Piece of waterproof coated material on the back there. Here's a little chin area. Now, here's a little stamp. This one is made in 1985, which of course came after. This bag was discontinued, so like I said, this mask didn't go with it, but earlier versions of the S6 would have. This one was actually made, like I said, 1985 by Leyland and Birmingham Rubber Co. in let's see, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August. August! Cool. In 1985, so there we go. Here's your little sliders with patent numbers on. So, moving on to the inside. Actually, I want to talk about the lens real quick. These are also, as you may notice, glass for one thing, but also due to the way they round, when you are wearing this, if you turn too quickly while looking at the sides, you will get a sort of fishbowl underwater effect, and it will make you quite queasy and can also disorientate you, which means you might bump into some shit. What time am I on? 9 minutes! Fuck! Right. I'm going to put these straps very carefully over the front of the mask because these straps age very poorly. They were great for the time, as I've been told, but like I said, they age poorly. You may notice something now. This one does have a peripheral seal. First one of the whole night, well, you know. That is actually inflated by you. You unscrew this little cap and you blow into the little hole. You inflate this, don't inflate it too much, and then you screw it back on. Not with your fucking tooth or teeth. Don't fucking try that with your tongue, unless of course you're very skilled at cunnilingus. So here's your little chin hole with chin sweat holes down here. Here is your valve holder essentially with your exhale valve. Here's your nose cup, which is actually marked by size, and the airflow comes in through the top here in this hole. So here you have little studs here for where the glasses inserts would go. They'd pop right on. And the inflated seal is cool because it puts a little cushion of air between you and the mask. And when you start to get hot, instead of the mask sweating, this actually causes this little ring around it to inflate, and it suctions to your mask a little, to your face, quite better. That was revolutionary for the time. However, sadly, because of the poor aging of this mask, that can in fact puncture. There's a little disc in here that holds it all together, that little clamp. It's like a little C-clamp that keeps the all nasal cup in place. You can see it's quite dusty in here, but that's okay. More maker's stamps in there. There should be another little C-clamp right there, bit of metal. And if I pull this out the front, like I said, this is like a little, there's nothing else down there, but like I said, this is like a little inner tube. So treat it with respect. This can puncture very badly if it's stored poorly. I prefer to keep this a little bit half inflated so that the rubber doesn't sit in one place and get creased and therefore break. Time. Oh god, 11:26. All right, real quick. I'm going to put the mask on so you can hear the voice diaphragm. Not the best. There is actually quite a bit of air resistance, but it's made to have low air resistance. Doesn't happen. As you can hear, it's actually quite muffled. So there we go. That was the S6. Running out of time. I hope you all enjoyed. I finally got round to it. Thank you all for watching. It's been IDB Trinity. Anything from Sage?
I'm really fucking cold, let's go home.
Yep, let's go. Woo! Let's go to every last second. God, fuck you. 8 seconds. S6 good. Get one. Or maybe get the Turkish copy. It's also good.